Hello friends. Have you ever considered that the internet you use every day, the one with its endless social media feeds, news articles, and cat videos, is just the tip of the iceberg? Today, we're going deep. We're venturing beneath the surface into a digital realm that most people have never seen and many don't even know exists. To understand this hidden world, we first need to understand the structure of the internet itself. Think of it in three layers. First, there's the surface web. This is your familiar territory. It's everything a standard search engine like Google or Bing can find. It's public, indexed, and easily accessible. But it's estimated to be only about 4% of the entire internet. Below that lies the deep web. Now this isn't as scary as it sounds. The deep web is simply the part of the internet that isn't indexed by search engines. Think about your online banking portal, your private email inbox, your company's internal network, or academic journals behind a paywall. You need a password or a specific URL to get there. It's vast and it's mostly mundane. But hidden within the depths of the deep web is another layer, a small, intentionally concealed corner of the internet. This is the dark web. It's a place built for absolute anonymity, accessible only with special software like the Tor browser. Here, user identities and locations are obscured through layers of encryption, creating a space that operates outside the reach of traditional authorities and surveillance. It's a world of contradictions. On one hand, it provides a vital lifeline for journalists, activists, and whistleblowers living under oppressive regimes, allowing them to communicate and share information without fear of reprisal. On the other, this same cloak of anonymity makes it a fertile ground for illicit activities, a digital underworld where anything and everything is for sale, from stolen data to illegal goods and services. So what is the truth about this digital shadowland? Is it a tool for freedom or a den of criminality? The answer is complex, and that's exactly what we're going to unravel. Over the course of this video, we will dissect the technology that makes the dark web possible, tracing its surprising origins back to a US government project. We'll explore its most infamous marketplaces like the notorious Silk Road and examine the real-world consequences of its existence. We'll share stories of both the good and the bad, separating the myths from the chilling realities. And most importantly, we'll discuss the very real dangers and provide you with the knowledge to understand this space safely from a distance. This isn't just a journey into a hidden corner of the internet, it's an exploration of privacy, security, and the darker side of human nature. Let's begin. Think of the internet like an iceberg. The tip above water is the surface web, what you use every day. Websites like Google, YouTube, Facebook, all indexed by search engines and accessible to everyone. Below the surface is the deep web, much larger, containing private emails, banking records, and secure databases. And then there's the dark web, intentionally hidden, accessible only through special networks like Tor. The main tool is the Tor browser. Tor stands for the onion router. Just like an onion has layers, Tor wraps your data in multiple layers of encryption, bouncing between servers worldwide. Each node peels away one layer until your request reaches its destination. The website can't see who you are. Tor isn't illegal. Journalists and activists use it for protection. However, criminals also use it to hide. So what will you actually find if you venture into this hidden corner of the internet? The content is a chaotic and often disturbing reflection of humanity's extremes. The gateways to this realm are websites ending in onion. These aren't indexed by search engines like Google, making them effectively invisible to the average user. You can't just stumble upon them. You need the exact address, which is typically a long, nonsensical string of letters and numbers generated by an algorithm. This obscurity is by design, a core feature of the Tor network that hosts them. It uses a process called onion routing, wrapping your connection in multiple layers of encryption and bouncing it through a global network of volunteer-run servers. This makes it nearly impossible to trace where the website is hosted or who is visiting it. While some directories, known as hidden wikis, attempt to catalog these sites, they are notoriously unreliable and often lead to dead ends or dangerous scams. It's a landscape where navigation itself is a challenge. Unsurprisingly, this anonymity has fostered a thriving criminal underworld. The most infamous destinations are the black markets. Here, vendors trade in everything imaginable: illicit drugs, firearms, counterfeit currency, and vast troves of stolen data. You can find databases of credit card numbers, login credentials for bank accounts, and even complete digital identities known as fulls, sold for cryptocurrency. The most famous of these was Silk Road, an Amazon-style marketplace for narcotics that operated with impunity until its founder, Ross Ulbricht, was arrested by the FBI in 2013. But its takedown didn't stop the trade, it simply created a vacuum, leading to the rise and fall of other markets like Alphabay and Hansa, in a perpetual cat-and-mouse game with law enforcement. Beyond marketplaces, you'll find services for hire that operate in the deepest shades of gray. Hacking groups and individuals advertise their skills, offering to breach social media accounts, launch DDoS attacks to cripple websites or deploy ransomware for a fee. These services are often marketed with disturbing professionalism, complete with price lists, customer reviews, and technical support. But it's crucial to understand that the dark web is not exclusively for criminals. The same anonymity that protects lawbreakers also shields the vulnerable. Platforms like SecureDrop allow whistleblowers to anonymously send sensitive files to journalists at major publications without fear of reprisal. In countries with oppressive regimes and heavy internet censorship, activists use the Tor network to organize, communicate, and access blocked information from the outside world. Even major organizations like the BBC, Facebook, and the New York Times maintain their own .onion sites to provide an uncensored portal to their content for people living under authoritarian rule. Ultimately, the dark web is a place of profound contradiction. It's a strange, disorienting mix where a library of banned books might be listed right next to a criminal marketplace, and a forum for political dissidents could be one click away from a hackers for hire page. It is not a monolithic entity but a tool, and its contents reflect the entire spectrum of human intent, from the fight for freedom to the facilitation of crime. So, who actually uses the dark web, and for what? The answer is complex, falling into three broad categories: the pursuit of privacy, the quest for uncensored information, and unfortunately a vast landscape of criminal activity. Let's start with the legitimate uses, which are often overshadowed by the darker headlines. For journalists and whistleblowers operating in oppressive regimes, the dark web is a lifeline. It provides a secure channel to communicate with sources, leak sensitive documents that expose corruption, and report on human rights abuses without fear of immediate identification and reprisal. Activists and dissidents use it to organize protests and bypass the great firewalls erected by authoritarian governments. Even major news outlets like the BBC and the New York Times maintain onion sites, ensuring their reporting can reach citizens in countries where their main websites are blocked. Beyond these high-stakes scenarios, there are everyday citizens who simply value their privacy in an age of pervasive data collection, using the dark web to browse without being tracked, profiled, and monetized. However, it's the criminal element that has given the dark web its notorious reputation. This is where vast, anonymous marketplaces thrive, operating like a dark version of Amazon, complete with vendor ratings and customer reviews. Here, illicit goods and services are traded with alarming ease, primarily using privacy-focused cryptocurrencies. The listings are a catalog of criminality: illegal drugs, stolen credit card numbers, and sophisticated malware. While exact figures are hard to come by, studies suggest a staggering 60 to 70% of the content is illegal. The remainder, however, can be vital for fighting oppression. It's a profound paradox. The same anonymity that protects a dissident also shields a criminal. But make no mistake, venturing into this territory is fraught with peril. The dark web is a minefield of scams. Phishing sites perfectly mimic legitimate ones to steal your cryptocurrency. Marketplaces can perform exit scams, suddenly vanishing overnight with millions of dollars in users' funds. And the risk of malware is constant. A single careless download could infect your system with ransomware, locking your files, or spyware that silently records your every keystroke. And then there's the biggest risk for those engaged in illegal acts: law enforcement. International agencies are constantly developing new techniques to unmask users. The 2017 takedown of Alphabay, at the time the largest darknet market in history, is a stark reminder. In a coordinated global effort called Operation Bayonet, authorities seized its servers and arrested its founder. This led to the identification of hundreds of vendors and buyers across the globe, proving that anonymity on the dark web is never guaranteed. If exploring for research, always use a VPN with Tor, keep browsers updated, never click unverified links. Friends, the dark web is like fire. It can provide warmth and light, or burn everything down. Use your knowledge wisely, and always stay on the right side of the law. If you enjoyed this video, hit like, share, and subscribe for more tech insights. Stay safe.